Class, I'm going to show you how to create an activity diagram. This is what we do in lab 4. Go ahead and select a blank drawing here, create your file, make sure you save your file in a safe place you can find later for submission. So a naming protocol is your first name, last initial, underscore, lab 4. Today we're going to talk about activity diagrams here, how we find the symbols, press more shapes, software and database, software and UML activity. We use activity diagrams to model processes in general, so you can use an activity diagram to model the way you prepare dinner after you get home from work. In this class we're gonna focus on using activity diagrams for modeling steps required to complete a use case. So pick a use case that you have listed in your use case diagram, just one, and think about the steps that are required to complete that use case. So there are people or entities involved in making that feature of your system happen. Think about those and let's see how we show them here. We're gonna start with what we say a swim lane. Swim lane will help us show different entities or people who work for us to make that use case happen. So here you're going to focus on the subsystem. Some of you may choose to work on health subsystem. Some of you may focus on agricultural subsystem. Some of you may work on government on Mars. And this here, it's going to be your use case. Remember, you're going to focus on only one use case. So my use case would be apply for housing on Mars. So two labels here, and then here is going to be my space colonists will be involved in apply for housing, obviously, and I'm going to add another swim lane inside this one, and this is going to be application processing subsystem within the housing subsystem. Your activity diagrams will start with an initial node. So let's start here. Alright class, I was looking for connectors and I don't see them here on UML activities, so I go ahead and press more shapes and look at Visio extras and have connectors up here. So I'm gonna add another node here. I'm gonna call it browse housing options. I used to see connectors in the previous versions of Visio, but I don't see them now. So I'm going to go to the other toolbox and I'm going to have one of these connectors that show the flow. Anything that shows direction would be fine. So this is browsing housing option for space colonist, and the system responds by display housing options. And then again we're going to show the flow back to connectors. I'm going to pick these specific ones and then connect that to this place. It may not be the best, so let's make this bigger, make this way, and see if this is gonna look better if we do it that way. And probably there are better choices to go with. From here I'm gonna let my colonist start an application. So probably they provide their colonist ID. They provide some basic information about themselves, and the system will show them or request them to show request start date and end date. So depending on whether or not this is a temporary housing or a more permanent housing, the system wants to know in order to show you the correct information. So we're going to connect them again with a connector, and probably there is a better choice here. We used to have better choices, but I don't see them now. So I'm just going to keep it simple right now, and if I found a cleaner way of doing this, I will share that with you. So here I'm going to go with this flow director. So this is that, and we're not going to forget that we need one more of this to show that these two. Okay, so now the process goes, the system asks for information and the colonist provides that information until the application is complete, and the colonist receives a confirmation. Remember, you're not addressing multiple use cases here, just one use case. So this is apply for housing. Now if this is ends with a confirmation, that's good. You don't want to go on to processing applications or sending final notifications of housing housing choices or location. So one single use case at a time. I usually see students overthink, so keep it simple. That's the key. I'm gonna look for a better way of showing these errors, and I'm gonna come back. Alright class, we had issue with connectors because in the previous versions we used to have a connector symbol in UML activity. We don't have it now. So this is the solution I found. So we're going to just use the connector here from the menu. We're going to press that, go from one activity to another, connect them. Now as you see, we don't see the errors. So what I did, I shift select all of them, and then I'm going to choose an error type here. Any of them actually would work. So this is what I have. You see that I've added a number of activities here that you didn't see in the earlier showing of this. I'm gonna show them to you here for your review, and then I'm gonna share the file on ReggieNet along with the video so you know what I've done. I have the subsystem here. I have the colonist and actor and the subsystem that interacts with the actor. I have the use case here. So remember, don't overthink. Don't try to cover every step in the whole process of application, housing application. This is just submitting an application. Now, the rest of it will happen in other use cases. So this is what I have, and I'll share that with you on ReggieNet. Send me an email if you have any question. Thank you.